Hello again, everybody. This is Casey Kasem, and it's Saturday night, January 24th, 1981. If you're listening right now in your car, in your home, wherever you are, I want to tell you about something that happened in Los Angeles this past week. Something that reminded me why I love this city, why I believe in heroes, why I think that sometimes the right person shows up at exactly the right moment. Outside my studio window, Los Angeles is glittering. A million lights stretching from the hills to the ocean. Somewhere, in all those lights, there's a man who's alive tonight because of what happened. A man who was ready to die. Who was standing on a ledge, 9 stories up, looking down, thinking about ending it all. And then Muhammad Ali showed up. Not Muhammad Ali, the boxer. Not Muhammad Ali, the champion. Not Muhammad Ali, the icon. Just Muhammad Ali, the man who saw someone in pain and couldn't walk away. Let me tell you this story, because it's not just about a famous person doing something good. It's about what it means to be human, to be a brother, to refuse to let someone die when you have the power to stop it. January 19, 1981, Monday afternoon, the Wilshire district, a 9-story office building, nothing special about it, just another building in a city full of buildings. Around 2 p.m., people on the street started noticing something. A man on the 9th floor, standing on the outside ledge. The window opened behind him, his arms spread wide like he was about to fly, or fall. Someone called 911. Within minutes, police arrived. Fire trucks, ambulances. The street below blocked off. Officers running up the stairs. Negotiators trying to get him to come inside. But the man wasn't listening. He was crying, screaming, saying things about his life being over, about losing everything, about not being able to go on. His name was Thomas, 21 years old, Vietnam veteran. He'd come back from the war with medals and nightmares. Couldn't hold a job, couldn't sleep, couldn't stop seeing the things he'd seen. The friends he'd lost, the people he'd killed, PTSD, they'd call it today. Back then, they just said he was troubled. Like it was his fault. Like he'd chosen to be broken. Thomas had tried, he'd really tried, but that Monday afternoon, standing on that ledge, he was done trying. He was ready to let go. The police negotiator was there. A good man, experienced. He'd talked dozens of people down from ledges, bridges, rooftops. He knew what to say, knew how to find the reason someone might want to stay. But Thomas wasn't hearing him, wasn't hearing anyone. Police negotiator, Thomas, please, just step back inside. We can talk. We can figure this out. Whatever it is, we can help. Thomas, nobody can help me. Nobody understands. You don't know what it's like. You weren't there. Casey Kasem. The standoff went on for an hour. Then 2, the crowd on the street growing, news helicopters circling overhead, cameras filming, the whole spectacle turning this man's worst moment into public entertainment. And Thomas just stood there, on that ledge, the wind blowing, 9 stories between him and the pavement. Muhammad Ali was in Los Angeles that week. He wasn't fighting anymore, not officially. His last fight had been in October. A loss, painful to watch. The man who'd been the fastest, most beautiful fighter in history. Slow and stiff and old, at 38. People had begged him to retire years earlier. But Ali, being Ali, he'd kept going. One more fight, one more chance. One more moment in the spotlight he'd lived in since he was 18 years old. Now, in January 1981, he was finally accepting it. The fighting was over. But what came next? Who was Muhammad Ali without the ring? That Monday afternoon, Ali was driving through the Wilshire district. Just driving. No particular destination. The way you do sometimes when you need to think, when you need to be alone with your thoughts. He saw the police cars, the fire trucks, the crowd, the cameras, and he did what anyone would do. He slowed down, looked up, saw the man on the ledge. Ali pulled over, got out of his car, stood there on the sidewalk with everyone else, watching, waiting. But unlike everyone else, Ali couldn't just watch. That wasn't who he was. That had never been who he was. He walked up to a police officer. Ali, what's happening? Officer, sir, please stay back. We have a situation, Ali. I can see that. Who is he? Officer, I can't discuss. Wait. You're Muhammad Ali. Ali. Yeah, let me go up there. Let me talk to him. Casey Kasem. The officer stared at him. Muhammad Ali, the heavyweight champion of the world, 3 times. The man who'd beaten Sonny Liston, Joe Frazier, George Foreman. The man who'd refused to go to Vietnam, who'd been stripped of his title, who'd become the most famous athlete on earth. Officer, sir, with all respect, we have trained negotiators. Ali, your negotiators aren't working. Let me try. What have you got to lose? Casey Kasem. The officer radioed his captain. The captain came down, looked at Ali, looked up at Thomas, made a decision that probably broke every protocol in the book. Captain, all right, Mr. Ali, but if anything happens, Ali, nothing's gonna happen. Trust me. Muhammad Ali walked into that building, took the elevator to the 9th floor. The officers led him to the room where Thomas had climbed out. The window still open, the wind blowing in, the sounds of the street below. Ali looked out, saw Thomas, young, thin, terrified, standing on a ledge that was maybe 18 inches wide, his back against the building, his arms spread. tears streaming down his face. Ali, hey, you up there. Can you hear me? Thomas looked over, saw a man in the window. Another voice trying to talk him down. Another person who didn't understand. Thomas, go away. Leave me alone. Ali, I'm not going away. You know who I am. Thomas, I don't care who you are. Ali, look at me. Really, look. Thomas turned his head, looked at the man in the window, and recognition hit him like a punch. Thomas, you're Muhammad Ali. Ali. That's right, I'm Muhammad Ali, and I'm here to talk to you. Can you listen? Just for a minute. Just hear me out. Casey Kasem. Ali climbed out the window. Carefully, slowly. There was a small platform there, barely big enough for him to stand. He held onto the window frame, positioned himself where Thomas could see him clearly. The police officers inside tensed. This wasn't protocol. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. But Ali waved them back. Ali, just me and him. Give us some space. He turned to Thomas. Ali, what's your name? Thomas. Thomas. Ali. Thomas. That's a good name. Strong name. You know who St. Thomas was? Doubting Thomas. He didn't believe until he saw. But when he saw, he believed. You believe in anything? Thomas. Thomas, I don't know anymore. Ali, that's okay. That's honest. I respect that. You've been to war. Thomas, how did you? Ali, I can tell. I can see it in your eyes. Vietnam. Thomas, yeah. Ali, how old are you? Thomas, 20-1. Ali, 21. Same age I was when I won my first championship. Beat Sonny Liston. Everybody said I was too young, too small, too pretty. Said he'd kill me, but I won. You know why? Thomas, why? Ali, because I believed I was worth something, even when nobody else did. Even when they called me a draft dodger, called me a coward, called me a traitor, I believed I was worth something. Casey Kasem, let me pause here. Let me tell you about who Muhammad Ali was, because you need to understand what it meant for him to be standing on that ledge. Talking to that young veteran, a veteran of a war Ali had refused to fight. He was born Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. in Louisville, Kentucky, January 17, 1942. His father painted signs and billboards. His mother was a domestic worker. They lived in a segregated neighborhood in a segregated city, Black Louisville, where colored people knew their place. Young Cassius learned to fight because someone stole his bicycle. He was 12 years old, crying, mad, wanting revenge. A police officer named Joe Martin told him, if you want to whoop somebody, you better learn to fight first. So he learned. And he was good. Not just good, transcendent, fast, graceful, beautiful, like he was dancing. Like boxing was art, and he was the artist. At 18, he went to the Olympics. Rome, 1960. Won the gold medal. Light heavyweight, came home a champion, an American hero, and the first thing that happened when he got back to Louisville, a restaurant refused to serve him. Because he was black. Gold medal around his neck, representing his country, and they wouldn't give him a hamburger. The story goes that he threw that medal into the Ohio River. Whether that's literally true or metaphorically true doesn't matter. What matters is what it meant. The country he'd represented didn't respect him, didn't see him, saw only his skin. So Cassius Clay decided to become someone impossible to ignore. He turned professional, started winning, started talking, not just talking, predicting which round his opponents would fall, writing, poetry, dancing, shouting at the cameras. I am the greatest. I am the prettiest. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. People hated it. The arrogance, the showmanship, the refusal to be humble, to know his place. This was the 1960s. Black athletes were supposed to be quiet, grateful, respectful. Muhammad Ali was none of those things. In 1964, he fought Sonny Liston for the heavyweight championship. Liston was a monster, an ex-convict with fists like hammers. Cassius Clay was 22, beautiful, loud, impossible. He won, became heavyweight champion of the world, and immediately after, he announced he was joining the Nation of Islam, changing his name. He was no longer Cassius Clay, a slave name. He was Muhammad Ali, a free man. Ali. Cassius Clay is a slave name. I didn't choose it, and I don't want it. I am Muhammad Ali, a free name. It means beloved of God, and I insist people use it when speaking to me. Casey Kasem. The backlash was immediate. The press refused to call him by his new name, called him Cassius, mocked his religion, said he was anti-American, anti-white, a threat. But Ali didn't care. He kept winning, kept talking, kept being himself, louder than ever. And then came Vietnam. The war in Vietnam was escalating. Young men were being drafted, sent to fight in a jungle on the other side of the world. Many didn't come back. Those who did came back changed. Muhammad Ali's draft number came up. He was ordered to report for induction. He refused. Ali, I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong. No Viet Cong ever called me in **R. Casey. It was one of the most controversial statements in American history. In the middle of the war, in the middle of the civil rights movement, in the middle of everything, Muhammad Ali refused to go. They stripped him of his title, banned him from boxing, threatened him with prison. He faced 5 years in federal prison and a $10,000 fine. but he wouldn't back down. Ali, why should they ask me to put on a uniform and go 10,000 miles from home and drop bombs and bullets on brown people in Vietnam, while so-called Negro people in Louisville are treated like dogs? He lost everything. His title, his income, his prime years. He was 25 years old, the best fighter in the world, and he couldn't fight, but he never regretted it, never apologized, never bent. Ali, I'd rather be in jail than be a puppet. I'd rather be killed than kill. My conscience won't let me shoot a poor person. I'm fighting for freedom, and I've been jailed for freedom. The case went all the way to the Supreme Court. In 1971, they overturned his conviction. He was free to fight again, but he'd lost 3.5 years. His 20s, the years when a boxer is at his peak, gone. He came back anyway, won his title back, lost it, won it again, became the first 3-time heavyweight champion in history. But those lost years haunted him. What he could have been, what was taken from him. So there on that ledge, in January 1981, when Muhammad Ali told Thomas about believing in himself even when nobody else did, he wasn't just talking. He was speaking from lived experience. Ali, you went to Vietnam. Thomas, yeah. Ali, they drafted you. Thomas, yeah. Ali, and you went. You served. You did what they asked. You fought their war. And now you're home, and nobody cares. Nobody sees you. Nobody understands what you saw over there, what you did, what was done to you. Thomas was crying now, really crying. Thomas, how do you know? Ali, because I've met a lot of you, a lot of young men who went to that war and came back broken. And every time I meet one, I think, that could have been me. If I'd gone, if I'd listened, that could have been me on that ledge. Thomas, you were right not to go. Ali, maybe, but you weren't wrong to go. You didn't have a choice. I had a choice because I was famous. I had money. I had lawyers. You had nothing. Just a draft notice and a one-way ticket. You didn't choose that war. That war chose you. Casey Kasem. Ali moved closer, slowly, carefully. The ledge narrow. That dropped 9 stories. One wrong move and they'd both fall. Ali. Thomas, I'm going to tell you something, and I need you to hear it. Really hear it. Can you do that? Thomas, yeah. Ali, you are my brother. You hear me? You are my brother. Not because we're the same race, not because we're Americans, not because of anything except this. You're human. I'm human, and humans don't let their brothers die when they can stop it. I don't know what you saw in Vietnam. I don't know what you did. I don't know what's in your head when you close your eyes at night. But I know this. You're still here. You're still alive. And that means there's still hope. Still a reason. Still a tomorrow. Thomas, I'm so tired. Ali, I know. I can see it. I can feel it. You're tired of fighting. Tired of hurting. Tired of waking up every morning and trying to find a reason to keep going. I get it. I really do. But Thomas, if you step off this ledge, that's it. That's the end. No more chances. No more tomorrows. No more possibilities. And I'm telling you, I'm begging, you don't let today be your last day. Don't let this moment be your final moment. Thomas, why do you care? You don't even know me. Ali, because you matter. Because every life matters. Because I've spent my whole life fighting, in the ring, outside the ring, fighting for respect, fighting for justice, fighting to be seen. And what I've learned is this. The fight is worth it. The struggle is worth it. The pain is worth it. Because on the other side of all that pain, there's life. Real life, good life, better days. Casey Kasem. Ali held out his hand. Across the ledge, across the gap, across everything. Ali, come on, brother. Take my hand. Come inside. Let's get you some help. Let's get you through today. And then tomorrow. And then, the day after that, one day at a time. That's all you have to do. Just keep going. One day at a time. Thomas, I'm scared. Ali, of course you are. Fear is real. Pain is real. But so is hope. So is love. So am I. I'm real. I'm right here. And I'm not leaving without you. You hear me? I'm not leaving. So you can either take my hand and come inside, or you can jump and take me with you. Because I'm not letting go. The wind blew. The city held its breath. 9 stories below. The crowd watched. Waited. And Thomas reached out. Took Ali's hand. Ali, that's it. That's it. Brother, I got you. I got you. Together, they moved along the ledge. Slowly, carefully. Ali guiding. Thomas trusting. Step by step. Inch by inch. Until they reached the window. Until the police officers pulled them both inside. Until they were safe. And Muhammad Ali wrapped his arms around Thomas and held him while he sobbed. Ali, you did it. You chose life. You chose to stay. I'm so proud of you. The news went everywhere. Muhammad Ali saves man from suicide. Headlines around the world. Ali, on every television station, every newspaper. But Ali didn't want to talk about it. Didn't want to make it about him. Ali to reporters. I didn't save anybody. Thomas saved himself. I just reminded him that his life matters. That he's loved. That he's not alone. That's all any of us can do. Remind each other that we matter. Thomas was taken to a hospital. Given care, real care, therapy, medication, support. The attention from the Ali story meant people actually paid attention. Actually helped. He got better. Slowly, it took years. There were setbacks, bad days, dark days, but he kept going, one day at a time, the way Ali had told him. In 1985, Thomas sent me a letter for American Top 40 for the long-distance dedication, asking me to play a song for Muhammad Ali, the man who saved his life. Thomas's letter: Dear Casey, my name is Thomas. 4 years ago, I was standing on a ledge ready to die. Muhammad Ali talked me down. He held my hand. He called me his brother. He saved my life. I'm doing better now. I have a job, an apartment. I'm taking classes. I'm not fixed. I don't know if I'll ever be fully fixed. The war is still with me. Always will be, but I'm alive. And I'm grateful. Every morning when I wake up, I think about that day. About Ali's hand reaching out. About his voice saying you matter. I want to thank him. Publicly. The way he saved me publicly. I want the world to know what kind of man he is. Not the boxer. Not the champion. The man. Can you play a song for him? Something that says, you made a difference. You saved a life. Thank you, Casey Kassim. I called Ali's people, told them about the letter, asked if Ali would want to hear it. They said he would. So on a Saturday night in October 1985, I read Thomas's letter on air, and I played the song he requested. Not a boxing song, not a fight song, just a simple song about friendship, about brotherhood, about being there for someone when they need you most. And I'd like to think Ali was listening, that he heard it, that he knew Thomas was okay, that the man he'd saved was still here, still fighting, still choosing life. Muhammad Ali died in 2016. He was 74 years old. Parkinson's disease, the same condition that had slowed his movements, softened his voice, made it hard for him to do the things that had once been so easy. But until the very end, people remembered him not just for the fights, not just for the championships, not just for refusing to go to Vietnam. They remembered him for moments like that day in January 1981, when he saw someone in pain and couldn't walk away, when he climbed out on a ledge literally and figuratively to save a stranger's life. Thomas was at Ali's funeral. He traveled from wherever he was living to Louisville, Kentucky, to say goodbye to the man who'd given him a future. At the service, he told reporters, Thomas, Muhammad Ali called me his brother. He meant it. Not just words. Not just something you say. He meant it. And that's what I'll remember. Not the boxing. Not the fame. Just that moment when he held out his hand and said, I got you, brother. That's who he was. That's who he always was. Casey Kasem. I think about that story often. About Ali on that ledge. About a 21-year-old veteran who wanted to die. About 20 minutes of conversation that changed everything. And I think about what Ali said. You are my brother. Humans don't let their brothers die when they can stop it. That's the lesson. Not just for famous people. For all of us, when you see someone in pain, someone struggling, someone on their own ledge, literal or metaphorical, you stop. You reach out. You say, I see you. You matter. You're not alone. Muhammad Ali was the greatest boxer who ever lived. But that's not why he mattered. He mattered because when he saw someone suffering, he couldn't walk away. Even when it wasn't his job. Even when it wasn't his responsibility. Even when it would have been easier to just keep driving. He stopped. He climbed. He reached out his hand. That's greatness. Real greatness. The kind that has nothing to do with championships or fame. Or anything except being human. If you're listening tonight and you're on your own ledge. If you're thinking about giving up. If you're wondering if anyone would care. I'm telling you, someone would care. I would care. Muhammad Ali would have cared. Please call someone. National Suicide Prevention. Lifeline. 1-800-2738-255. Available 24 hours a day. Real people. Real help. Real hope. You are someone's brother. Someone's sister. Someone's child. You matter. Your life has value. Your story isn't over. Muhammad Ali proved that on a January afternoon in 1981, when he climbed out on a ledge and told a stranger, you're my brother. I love you. Come inside. Keep your feet on the ground. And keep reaching for the stars. And if you see someone on a ledge, be like Ali. Reach out your hand. Say the words. Be the reason someone chooses life. This is Casey Kasem. Good night, everybody. And thank you, champ, for everything.